again that story, because this has been
Take a look
raised
at what
a
actually
few weeks
benefited.
back only by somebody like Vivek Debroy, who is the member of Niti Aayog, that why agriculture taxation now is an inevitability.
Princess, thank you so much for taking time out for Talk to Bhupen. This is India's premier digital simulcast. I've just moved out from conventional television platforms, and now we're doing this. So welcome and thank you so much for taking time out for us. Let me just first begin by asking you, what do you think? What do you think about the response that you are seeing from the big world powers about the corona pandemic, whether it is China, whether it is America or India, the UAE? Do you think the world has understood where exactly this problem originated from?
We all know that the virus started in Wuhan, China, and maybe in the beginning China was in denial, but I think China has handled it very, very well. And now the virus is no longer in China. If it is, everything is under control, and I think China is very effective. They handled it. I mean, maybe in the beginning they did not expect the virus to be so widespread. But I think the way they handled it, they even had to force the citizens to abide by their laws. They did an excellent job. And sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind. So I think China did the right thing by putting their foot down and by forcing people to isolate, disinfect, and have everyone covered in face masks and isolated. And I know that Vietnam has had an excellent recovery, and they've had no death apparently, which is, I mean, they've even done better than China. And I know that usually Singapore numbers are low, but still quite significant. Our numbers are still going up, but we hope that this can be handled. I'm very sad about what's happening in America because the numbers just keep exploding, and people want to go back to work because the government can't continue to feed them. But I see a lot of anger in the streets in America. People refuse to wear face masks. At least some in the sun, in the warmer areas. I know that the numbers in Italy are going down, and they're looking at looking at the 18th of May. They might have to reevaluate and see how things will happen. We're all stumbling. We're all worried. We're all scared. We're all trying to do the best that we can. We all want this to be over.
I completely echo your sentiments that we all want this to be over. But I've also seen and the sense that I get, Princess, for someone like you whose first name is almost like Hindustan, so to say. Your I would like to believe your love for India is unchallenged, given the fact that India and the UAE have such close relations. But I get a sense when I look at your social media handles, I get a sense that you're slightly angry with India. Would it be correct to say that you're angry with what's going on in India?
I'm not angry at India or the Indians. I'm very sad because I'm not used to seeing Indians speak so harshly about me as a person, as a country, as a religion. I'm not. This is very new for me. I'm not. I mean, I hope I don't keep repeating myself, but I grew up with Indians. The Indians constitute something like 30% of the local population in the Emirates for a very good reason. We enjoy a very good relationship with them. We like them. We care about them. We genuinely see them as our brothers.
Your own.
So
Yes, yes.
yes, I mean, I was raised by Indians. We had more Hindu Indians in my father's house than the Muslim and Christian Indians. And I was never made to feel like I should be scared of these people. I mean, we eat the same food, we like the same stories, we watch the same Indian Bollywood movies, we were addicted to the chai karak, and we're both very emotional people. I think our social fabric is very similar. We believe in family values, we believe in respect, and I think this is why it's more comfortable for an Arab to relate to an Indian than he would to another nationality, for example, another culture, because we have a very
You think
strong.
you yeah, but Princess, do you think that whether it's America, for instance, or it's India, do you get a sense today that in large parts of the world, whether it's the Western world or in India, let's be honest about it, there is a certain mistrust. There is a certain unease which large sections of the majority community may have against the minority community. And in this case, it happens to be the Muslim community. Do you think somewhere, because of this corona pandemic in certain parts of the world, has this mistrust, has it been stretched? Has it become deeper according to you?
I think yes. I think that because of this pandemic, people have become less patient with things that they would usually turn the other eye. People would normally turn their cheek on a subject and they would just take it as a given. But because of this pandemic, everyone's tether of patience is shorter. Everyone's it's because we are scared and we are angry, we simply lash out. But I mean, at the beginning, people were lashing out at anyone that looks Chinese in Africa. They were abused, and that wasn't fair. Just because you're Chinese doesn't mean that you're a walking coronavirus. That's cruel. So, but now, we have had patients from Europe. We don't simply say, oh, just because you're Italian, you carry the coronavirus. That's very racist. Anyone can carry this. The coronavirus doesn't choose you based on being a Muslim or a Chinese or an Italian or a Spanish or an American. It simply finds fertile ground. It doesn't care.
But may I put it this way, and I like the fact that you just a short while back you were pointing out that how you've been raised by Indians, so you're completely familiar by Hindus, by the Hindu way of life, so to say. You see, on one hand, we have a prime minister who, on multiple occasions, has stated about this that this coronavirus does not make any differentiation, so to say. It doesn't discriminate against anyone on the basis of gender or caste or religion. But yet, when you see this sentiment, which gains acceptance, how do you propose that this gulf which exists between the, let's say, the Hindu community, the minority community, the Muslim community, how do you propose this gulf could be bridged?
I think the Prime Minister Modi did right by voicing his concern in that tweet he did. And in it, he had spoken that there is no discrimination based on caste, based on religion, based on race, and monetary value. Or I don't quite recall it, but I think that that rang true and loud. I think it drew the line, and I think it also woke up the whole world and also India, that what was happening in India was being heard. I mean, a lot of Arabs speak Hindi. A lot of people, a lot of Westerners or Asians or Africans, even if they don't speak, the language, they understand this culture has become racist. This culture has become accepting. This culture had a hiccup and now they are correcting. Everything can be fixed. I am not an enemy of India. I am a friend of India. I saw an injustice and I spoke about it. And I'm very happy the Prime Minister himself handled it. And I can see a lot of people are defending both sides. And they say that there were many congregations, one of whom was the Tahrir Jamaat, but there were also others which was north of 100,000 gathering. And it just so happened that India contains a high populace. I mean, it's a big country, and people like to gather. I mean, even now during lockdown, you still see the streets full of people. But this is them going on their minimum. This is them doing what they can. I mean, somebody needs to go and deliver milk for the children. Somebody needs to go and deliver the bread. Somebody needs to go and visit the sick people in their homes. Um, People are doing what they can with what they have.
But maybe you ended up making those comments perhaps because you were not aware. Maybe you were not aware of all the facts, because what happened was that this Tablighi Jamaat, this congregation, it ended up hiding a lot of facts. A lot of people refused to submit themselves before the authorities, and it led to the kind of problem which India has had to face. But let me draw attention then to the other neighboring country, both for the India and the UAE, and again a country with which the UAE has great relations. India used to have relations, but we're in absolute no terms with that country, and that is the country of Pakistan. Till a few months back, Princess, let me point out that the Hindu minority in Pakistan was feeling extremely insulted, humiliated, embarrassed. Do you think that in the same way, when you speak about how maybe minorities are being treated in India, do you think that you should also speak about Hindu minorities being ill treated in Pakistan?
I spoke about that once or twice on my Twitter. I mean, maybe not enough, but the thing is, I don't know anything. I am. I have to admit, I am ignorant to politics. I know history, but I don't know. I mean, in India, you have so many BJP and RRS and so. I mean, I don't. And I cannot remember the names of some. I mean, some names are very very long, so I don't know the names. But when it comes to Pakistan, I don't know about the politics in Pakistan. I mean, us, the Arabs, we used to regard Pakistan and India and Bangladesh all as one country. And because I mean, you can please feel free to correct me, because they all speak the same language. To us, they seem all the same to us. We don't know enough about what's. I mean, I know that Pakistan chose to be an independent nation because they felt like they were not allowed to live their life completely free, and apparently, the Prime Minister Jinnah, I think, if
Yes,
I'm saying it correctly, he felt
that's
like
right.
maybe the Muslims should have their own independent land so they can practice their religion as freely as they want to. And India at that time agreed to it. But
But
still
if
a significant
if yeah, if I may just correct you there and hold you there, that's history, and that happened a
yeah,
long time back. Princess, a lot of people like us, and me included, a lot of people look at you and your statements from the point of view of how we can move together. We in India believe that Pakistan, frankly, is a failed state. We in India believe that Pakistan is a country which is only interested in promoting terrorism, and there is enough and more evidence which we have presented on multiple occasions before the world. Unfortunately, Pakistan refuses to accept that, to acknowledge that. But I'm not today speaking about what Pakistan should be accused of or what should not be accused of. I want to know from Princess Hen, who has taken strong positions. I want to understand from you, how do you believe that India and the UAE can move together? Are you thinking in terms of maybe coming to India at some stage and maybe even holding dialogues with some politicians here?
holding dialogues for what? Like in peace between the Hindus and
Well,
the
for
Muslims, you mean?
conversations, yes. Well, for peace. I
Sure.
mean, for a constructive spirit. If I myself was to say that I could, let's say, bring in a minister or someone, would you be open to a dialogue like that? A conversation with an Indian minister?
Um, the thing is, I speak from a humanity point of view. I don't know enough about politics. I don't know the intricacies. Which I mean, I would be in a handicap. I wouldn't know enough to defend myself. I would only speak from the humanistic point of view. And with regards to
Okay.
Pakistan, I don't think Pakistan likes having. I know that they have a certain group of terrorists living in their country, but I don't think
Hmm.
anyone likes having terrorists. I mean, Syria had terrorists. They brought them to their knees. I mean, do you think the Syrian government wanted to have ISIS in their land, or Iraq wanted to have them as well? No, nobody wants these terrorists. They just hurt you and damage you. They ruin your country. They ruin your future. The same thing with. I'm not sure. I mean, as I told you, I'm not very good with politics. I'm not sure if Taliban
No,
is
no, that's
in
all right. I'm just
Afghanistan
trying to
or
understand.
in Pakistan.
I'm just trying to understand, Princess. I'm just trying to understand whether you could use maybe your position, your influence to maybe make Pakistan see some reason. Because I agree with you that why should any sane country think in terms of harboring terrorists? And unfortunately, Pakistan does just that, which is why India and Pakistan are looking at each other the way they're looking at each other. But let's move away from that. Let's move away from that, Princess. How do you said that you were fond of Bollywood. I mean, do you speak Hindi? Do you get to speak Hindi? Do you read Hindi?
टोरा नहीं बहुत अच्छा है लेकिन मुझे समझता है टोरा है
हाँ हाँ, समझ जाती हैं आप, ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात है,
टोरा
क्योंकि आपसे आपसे हिंदी में कभी आप फिल्में भी देखती हैं? कोई बॉलीवुड का कौन सा आपका प्यारा स्टार कौन है, पसंदीदा स्टार?
I grew up watching Amitabh Bachchan, Anil Kapoor, and Sridevi. I mean, and Rishi Kapoor. I had the chance to meet a few of them, which was great. But I understand better than I speak, and my Hindi grammar is very bad. I was told that my Hindi accent is Punjabi, which I think I'd have to. But most of my Hindi friends, they speak more English than Hindi anyway, and most of them live in Europe and America now.
Well,
but I still have a lot of friends in India.
Well, Punjabi is a beautiful language. It's a beautiful Indian language, and if you if your accent is Punjabi, well, it's welcome as long as you're
Thank
on the
you.
Indian side. But let me Princess, in conclusion, then let me ask you. We're living in tough times. Look at the amount of deaths on all sides. What's the kind of role that you would like to play to ensure that at least in this region we can be a peaceful region, we can be a peaceful community?
It should be. I think India, the whole Indian subcontinent, including Pakistan and Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, I think they've seen enough death. I think, I mean, the history is very bloody. We have to accept that an injustice was done. I mean, the grandchildren of Genghis Khan ruled India, and they were Muslims. But unfortunately, the desecration and demolition of the temples was a wrong. In Islam, you are not allowed to demolish a temple. You're not allowed to kill people, especially women and children. I mean, they even tell you in the Islamic scripture that you are not even allowed to chop off a tree without a reason. To that point. So you cannot kill animals and trees. So do you think you're allowed to kill children, men and women? No. But unfortunately, that was done 500 years ago, and the Hindus today are still reminiscing and remembering what happened 500 years ago, and they can't forgive it. And we have to admit that this has happened, but the past is dead. Okay, they've taken the Babri Masjid. I understand that. And I've seen them, and I've also seen how they've demolished it, and now they want to build their own temple. I have to understand why that happened. So now I understand why that happened. So I think we have to move on from there. But we cannot allow.
And also you must understand, you must appreciate that when we go into the Babri Masjid question again, it's a contentious topic because many of us Hindus believe that Babur was responsible for demolishing a temple there at one point of time, and because there was a masjid that was created, therefore that masjid had to be, justice had to be done. Should it have been demolished in the way it went on? Of course not. An illegal act was committed, no doubt about that. But then there is a Supreme Court order. We've been through the entire process in India, and there is a Supreme Court order which was delivered. But I was asking you more from the point of view of Corona pandemic. I was asking you that since the way we have seen the world, the normalcy of the world, the normal world behavior that we used to see, now that is a thing of the past, Princess, is there any role that you foresee for yourself as we take these long and tough steps towards coming back to some kind of peace, coming back to some kind of normalcy? What kind of role do you think you can play in that?
Can I just be clear? I don't have a political role in my country. My parents and myself come from the royal family, but I don't hold any. My father is a medical doctor and a businessman. So is my mother. But I'm an author, and I have my own business. But I don't normally do peace talks. But because I think I have the love for the written word. So I think because I like to read, it has opened my eyes on so many things. And when you read the Gita, the first few lines in the book, they tell you that it opens your eyes, that you're thirsty for knowledge. And the same thing is with in the Quran. The first verse that came down to the Prophet by Gabriel was read, and God will and everything will happen. Iqra. So when you read, you open your eyes, you open your soul. you're open to different opinions, and because I'm open to different opinions, I won't. I mean, like I told you, I come from a humanist, peaceful point of view, and I believe in peace. I believe in harmony. I believe that India, the melting pot of cultures and religions, can come together as one. Because India is not Hindu or Christian or Muslim. India is Indian. India is Hind. So they
Exactly.
come together.
Exactly. They come together. Well, we do hope, Princess, that that individuals like you can continue to be of help and support to India. And in these tough times, I do hope that all of us can stay safe and hopefully help each other out as well. Thank you so much for your time. Please stay
Thank
well.
you.
Please stay safe. We'll be in touch. Look forward to having you again on the show soon.
Again, that story, because this has been
Take a look
raised
at what
a
actually
few
the IMF
years
did.
back only by somebody like Vivek Roy, who's the member of Niti Aayog, that why agriculture taxation now is an inevitability.